Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to week 4 of our weekly interview series. Today's conversation is one that truly separates those who start from those who actually finish strong. We are talking about consistency over motivation because the truth is, motivation feels good when it's there, but it's not always reliable. Life gets busy, energy shifts, and some days you simply don't feel like showing up. Yet, those are the days that you really have to show up and they matter most. So, tonight we are diving into what really looks like to keep going anyway, to build discipline, to stay committed, and create results that don't depend on how you feel in the moment. But before we get started, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Joycelyn, Joy for short. I'm a mom to two boys. I'm a wife, a registered nurse, originally from Ghana, and I'm a digital businesswoman. I started this business because I wanted flexibility, financial flexibility, and the ability to build something that I can leave as a legacy for my family. And so today I'm joined by some amazing, incredible individuals who each bring their own experiences and insights to this conversation. I'll go ahead and have each of our panelists introduce themselves, tell us who they are, what they do, and a little bit about their journey. And once we are done with that, we'll get right into our questions for tonight. So, how about I go this way? How about we start with Nana? You can introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. So, my name is Nana Sampson. I am the face behind Nana Sampson Digital. And I live here in Florida, USA. I'm a mom, a wife of two. I'm a mom of two young children. And I work in the healthcare. I'm a healthcare professional. And I have been in the business for a couple of years now. So, welcome to my page. If you're new, this is the face behind it. And then just enjoy our discussion.
Awesome. All right, Sister Beth, let's go.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. So, if anybody doesn't know me, I am Beth and I am in this online business, but I'm also an accounting manager by day. I'm married and I'm from Colorado, and I'm happy to be here tonight to answer all your questions.
Amazing. All right, Sister Dorcas.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this chat. We hope we'll be able to engage you, so stay put. My name is Dorcas Audible, but you can call me D for short. I'm a wife, a mother of three teenagers, and I currently live in Florida, US. By day, I am a fraud investigator with one of the largest credit unions in the world. So good to be here. Enjoy our discussions.
Awesome. All right. Last but definitely not the least, Sister Antoinette.
Hi everyone. If you're new here, you're seeing us for the first time. My name is Antoinette. I am originally from Liberia. I'm a mom, wife, a registered nurse. I've been in this business for a few months now, and it's been an amazing journey. So, thank you.
Amazing. So we are all very busy professionals, and yet we find time to get this going. So the first question, but I'll probably do the same order. So I'll go with you, Nana. We often hear about staying motivated, but motivation comes and goes. Yeah, motivation comes and goes. Can you share a real moment when you had to show up anyway, even when you didn't feel like it, and what kept you going?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very interesting real life situation question. Because we all go through that, right? We are moms, and of course, I am a mom. I juggle a lot, and I'm also running a business. So for me, I don't really depend on motivation because if I say I'm going to depend on motivation, I will never get nowhere. you know, because motivation doesn't move me, right? I believe that consistency is what moves me. So I think that for me, because I juggle a lot, I don't want to overwhelm myself with too many things. So I try to do like kind of achieve my goals in pockets of time. around my life. So I just set small goals, one goal a day. I know I can achieve that because, you have to work smart as well. And you have to make sure that you're able to kind of set achievable goals. So for me, motivation doesn't really do much for me. So I try to be consistent, because once you're consistent, you're going somewhere, you're achieving something. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that really resonates with me because if you were to just wait for that motivation, for that kick to get out of your comfort zone, especially in this weather where it's so cold and you have all your covers over you, to get that motivation to, get up and do what you got to do, you probably will be sleeping forever. So, yeah. Consistency is definitely the key. How about you, Sister Beth? What keeps you going regardless of how you feel?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, just honestly, I mean, the first thing when I first started, it was a little bit hard to put myself out there online, like, because I was actually I'd post here and there, but not, 3 times a day and showing everything and talking on camera. So, that to me was a little bit unnatural at first, but there was definitely days like I'm like more of a perfectionist. So I had to record it like 5 times or whatever. But now I'm just like, I don't overthink it. I just do it and get along with, my normal stuff. Like I do my regular job and then I work like Nana said, and there are pockets of time here and there when I can. So, and that just keeps me motivated. And then in our system, we have some challenges that we do, the 90-day challenges. So they say, like, if you do something consistently for 90 days, it's just going to be just habit then forming. So that's helped me a lot in this business.
I think one thing that is so different with this business is, and that's also something that it's some sort of misinformation. You don't really need a huge chunk of time, right, to do this business. You just fit them into pockets of time. 2 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 30 minutes here, for whatever time you have. So it really fits well into your lifestyle. So you really don't need this huge amount of time to do anything that you'll be doing anyway if you didn't have a business. And so I love that it fits into pockets of time. You let it work with what you have. You do what you can with what you have. Amazing. All right. We'll go with Sister Dorcas. So arrangement has changed a bit. So, same question we often hear about staying motivated. But of course, we know motivation comes and goes. So how do you, or what can you share about a real moment where you had to show up even when you didn't feel like it?
So that's me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so to piggyback off of what Beth said. So for me, motivation is a feeling, whereas consistency is a decision. So you have to make that decision to show up, right? And knowing well that motivation is a feeling, once you decide, then that counteracts the feeling and that makes you get up, right? And so even in our everyday jobs, when you are assigned a task or a project, sometimes it may be huge, sometimes it may be a small project, but do not let the scope of the project deter you. I think it all depends on how much time you want to put into it. So you really don't have to be the superwoman or have that superpower to conquer it. But if you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to dedicate 10 minutes to this project, I'm going to dedicate this amount of time, that's a decision. And once you do it, you conquer that. And so as I think most of the time, when you're not able to separate motivation and consistency, then that's when you kind of like find yourself in a bind. So for me, if I'm feeling like, ooh, today I don't feel like it, but then I know I owe it to my audience, to my followers to be there, then even if it's 5 minutes, it's worth it for them. And I've seen that that's where most growth happens. when you make that decision. So that's just my take on that.
And that is so important. You look at the bigger picture. You're not doing it just for yourself. And so if you attach that kind of importance to it, even if it's 5 minutes, you make it count. All right, Sister D. Thank you. Now on to Antoinette, the other D. Same
That
question.
that is a very good question. For me, I just like to be realistic, right? I've
Yeah.
had days where I felt discouraged. I felt tired. I felt like I didn't want to do anything, but I still show up anyway because why I owe it to myself to show up. I showed up, I posted, I stay consistent because the life that I want is not about convenience. It's about being consistent. So I just see it like, a responsibility that I have to myself and to those that are looking up to me, that regardless of what's going on, I have to make that room for whatever it's going to be. If it's 2 minutes or 1 minute or 5 minutes a day, whatever I have to do to show up, even if I'm not showing up 40, but as long as I show up somehow, then it's been done. So it's all about consistency for me, not convenience, because nothing good comes with the convenience and the comfort of you just laying there and being comfortable. You got to get off your comfort zone for you to have that consistency and for you to win. So that's just how I see it.
It's just like I don't know if I read somewhere, I heard somewhere that the life you're looking for is on the other side of your comfort zone. You just
Yeah.
have to get up and do what you got to do. All right. So thank you, ladies, so much. On to our second question. And so, Nana, discipline is what carries people when motivation fades. Just like we've talked about consistency. What practical habits or routines have helped you build consistency, especially on the days when it feels hardest to stay committed?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone through a situation where, I mean, things were really tough. I've gone through grief, I've gone through juggling, I've gone through, ups and downs, and you'll be thinking that, wow, where is the discipline? Where is the discipline? Because it's so hard to be disciplined when you're going through so much. Okay, but I believe that it's a mindset thing. You have to keep going. Especially if, let's say, for example, especially for me in this business, I know there's so much I'm looking for in the business. I'm looking for freedom. I'm looking for flexibility. I'm looking to be present for my kids. There's so much dreams and aspiration that I have concerning my business. So if I'm going to stay there and thinking that, okay, I'm like inside dwelling in my sorrow and all that, I will never get anywhere. So I think it's just the mindset of me thinking that I still need to get up and keep going, and one thing I also think about as well is having a routine. Okay, because of course, for me, I like to have structure. So having a routine, little bits of routine, which I know I can keep on doing, I will actually want to stick to that. Okay, because I believe that, without that, you can't reach nowhere. You see, so you got to have to set up your mind that, you have to also keep going regardless of what you go through. You see, because that's where you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Amazing. Oh, this is so good. All right, Sister Beth. Again, what practical habits or routines have helped you build consistency, especially on days where you really don't feel like, oh, it's the hardest to stay committed?
Yeah, I mean, I just honestly, you just have to stop making things so complicated. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just, need to start, and you don't have to have the perfect content, the perfect strategy, the perfect timing, but, you just stay consistent over time. And then, like I said, I just, like what Nana said, you create those small habits, and you just stay consistent. So like when I wake up, I'm checking, my messages and responding to the leads that came in. I'm doing that every morning throughout the day, here and there too, giving them the information. All that's just a normal thing for me, while I'm doing my other jobs. So, you know, how women can do 10 different things. You know, we're always having everything done, you know, we can
Yeah.
do all these different projects all along. And, you know, so we're superpower, you know, so bring it on, you know. So I just honestly, you know, you know, it's just consistency, you know, and it keeps me motivated every day. And I just keep those promises to myself, you know. So just the little things add up over time. So yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. All right, Dorcas. Same question. Discipline is what carries people when motivation fades. And so, what are the routines or practical habits that has helped or have helped you build consistency?
So for me, I call something decision capping, where before the week starts, there are some days I have high energy. So on
Mhm.
those high energy days, I tackle three big tasks for the week. I tell myself, okay, or I write down this week, this day, this is what I'm going to do. Because I know for sure, as human as we are, on certain days, your energy will be low. And so when the motivation is not there, what do you do? So I have the 10-minute capping because I know that I've already done the big task and plan. And so the days that my energy is not so up, like the previous days or those particular days that I have high energy, I know that at least 10 minutes I'm going to dedicate that to my business. Right. So for me, it's a mindset thing too. I think it's just how human beings are wired. When we are working for somebody, because the rules have been laid, and we follow the policies, we follow the rules. When you are your own CEO, we're forgetting that the job that we are going to, someone is also a CEO and dictating and making those rules. But I
Mhm.
think when it comes to individuals where we are our own bosses, then we tend to not apply the way we work when we are, working for someone else. I think we should rather, if not more, apply the same, if not more. As though in cases like that, then I'm leaning on my mindset entry point. I'm the CEO, and sometimes even though I'm home, I still like to look like a CEO. So I can throw on a blazer, I can throw on a shirt, I
Oh,
can,
wow.
when I say I'm like, yes, the CEO is behind Otalinks Marketing LLC. I'm here. You know what I mean? So it's the mindset shift. You need to have, an agile mindset. You don't have to have a fixed one, and that will help you overcome that, less motivated days. Because once you see yourself as the CEO, you have to show up. It's going to rank up. Um, the cash, the funds, the motivation quotes, that even your followers get to see you in that light. So that is what I do. I have the 10-minute cup. There's some days. So make good use of your high energy days. Make good use, because in business there are times when there are low energy. There are. So then when there's that low energy point, you have your 10 minutes in, and just give 10 minutes to it, and you'll be done. You'll be good. The following day you come back more energized.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I have never heard that before. So that's one that is going right in here. Thank you so much. All right, Sister
Mhm.
Antoine. Same question to you. What keeps you going? What practical habits or routines have helped you build consistency?
For me, I keep it simple. I focus on the non-negotiables.
Mm,
So that's like doing something every single day, regardless of what it is. If it's small, big, I must do something for my business every single day. If that's posting, maybe following up with messages, maybe reaching out, following up with leads, something must be done concerning my business. I've made that so much of a habit that if a day goes by, half a day, that I haven't done anything about my business, I start to feel very like uncomfortable, like what's going on? I haven't done anything today. I need to do something small. So I just keep it simple and consistent. That's it. I have to do something small every single day, regardless of what the situation is. I have to show up. I remember a few months ago, I think in November, I was grieving at the time I lost my dad. I wasn't able to post for over 2 weeks, but I was still able to answer questions in the background, follow up, answer inquiries, in the background. I mean, my business was still running. I had an ad I was still running at the time. So even though I was not showing up on social media, posting every day, I was still consistent in the background. So that's my non-negotiables that I stick with. I have to do something every single day that has to do with my business.
Wow. That is amazing. That goes to show you, once there's a will, there's always a way, right? And once you know what you are fighting for, you'll find ways to fight for those things. So as we wrap up tonight's conversation, one thing should be very clear. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about commitment. It's about making a decision ahead of time that you show up. That's it. Whether you feel like it or not. What we've heard tonight are not just ideas, but real examples of what discipline looks like in everyday life, right? Small actions repeated over time that lead to meaningful results. So the question now becomes, what will you do with this? What is one area in your life where you can choose consistency starting today? So thank you to our amazing panelists for sharing so openly. And thank you to everyone who joined us live or catch the replay. We'll be back next week with another powerful conversation. But until then, stay committed, stay focused, and keep showing up. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Okay, bye everyone.